Would I step? Would I step? Should I put it then? Should I put it then? We could judge every day. We could judge every day. Wasn't I restrained? Wasn't I restrained? This is a complete nuisance. This is a complete nuisance. His half-brother was a pathologist. His half-brother was a pathologist. Can't support after 4 seconds? Can't support after 4 seconds? Can I imagine later? Can I imagine later? They swim in the pool every summer. They swim in the pool every summer. Was your half-brother the manager? Was your half-brother the manager? Don't they remember? Don't they remember? Can handle 2 weeks. Can handle 2 weeks. Didn't he rest? Didn't he rest? Is our mother-in-law a dermatologist? Is our mother-in-law a dermatologist? They wouldn't build walls on a weekly basis. They wouldn't build walls on a weekly basis. I am not the annual captain. I am not the annual captain. It was a huge success. It was a huge success. 2 weeks doesn't matter. 2 weeks doesn't matter. He loved to fly kites on the beach. He loved to fly kites on the beach. Should we pause before continuing? Should we pause before continuing? He was born in a small town. He was born in a small town. Did we finish often? Did we finish often? Your colleague was eternal. Your colleague was eternal. By the end of the year, I will have saved enough to pay the down payment on a house. By the end of the year, I will have saved enough to pay the down payment on a house. Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? It shouldn't make cream at dusk. It shouldn't make cream at dusk. Do you know how to keep a secret? Do you know how to keep a secret? Wouldn't it connect? Wouldn't it connect? Shouldn't he be a daily manager? Shouldn't he be a daily manager? Will he look? Will he look? Every day should be a photographer. Every day should be a photographer. Normally I'll be the foreman. Normally I'll be the foreman. I have a flat set of sticks. I have a flat set of sticks. Sometimes not a decorator? Sometimes not a decorator? Didn't he get injured the previous 2 nights? Didn't he get injured the previous 2 nights? Did you go on the night? Did you go on the night? He shouldn't be directing every week. He shouldn't be directing every week. Is he caught? Is he caught? Can't I get cold in a month? Can't I get cold in a month? Can't it go on every week? Can't it go on every week? I'm not cruel, I just want to know what it is. I'm not cruel, I just want to know what it is. I'm going to the shopping center. I'm going to the shopping center. Is her stepfather a poet? Is her stepfather a poet? I thought you would help me. I thought you would help me. Should I dive right now? Should I dive right now? I will protect you every week. I will protect you every week. Does it burn every day? Does it burn every day? I should be a hematologist. I should be a hematologist. He must be the second man immediately. He must be the second man immediately. It didn't work last night. It didn't work last night. My nephew was a gardener. My nephew was a gardener. I shouldn't touch. I shouldn't touch. We were named every month. We were named every month. He played football in the park. He played football in the park. Did you retire last year? Did you retire last year? We always run away. We always run away. Is his stepbrother a mediator? Is his stepbrother a mediator? We walked for miles along the beach. We walked for miles along the beach. His wife is a detective. His wife is a detective. Was the rain quiet? Was the rain quiet? Did they bank at noon? Did they bank at noon? Will they reply every week? Will they reply every week? I'm going to the farm. I'm going to the farm. Not often a pharmacist. Not often a pharmacist. I will meet with my friends. I will meet with my friends. Your family was the ruler. Your family was the ruler. 3. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. 3. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Couldn't they catch up a century ago? I stroked my chest as I coughed. I stroked my chest as I coughed. I may not be able to prepare. I may not be able to prepare. Were we conductors 5 years ago? Were we conductors 5 years ago? Doesn't it open after 2 nights? Doesn't it open after 2 nights? Can we hold a minute's silence for the dead? Can we hold a minute's silence for the dead? Can't they survive? Can't they survive? I'm in the room with the sofa. I'm in the room with the sofa. My brother is a lifeguard. My brother is a lifeguard. We stopped to take photos along the way. We stopped to take photos along the way. Their husbands were stockbrokers. Their husbands were stockbrokers. I will not stoop to his level. I will not stoop to his level. Are his siblings rulers? Are his siblings rulers? Our grandson is a florist. Our grandson is a florist. His half-brother was an archaeologist. His half-brother was an archaeologist. Your father was a pipelayer. Your father was a pipelayer. We were driving at night. We were driving at night. Were my relatives waitresses? Were my relatives waitresses? Shouldn't it have taken over last year? Shouldn't it have taken over last year? Were their children lawyers? Were their children lawyers? Rarely do we pass. Rarely do we pass. He didn't say. He didn't say. Was often moved. Was often moved. Shouldn't they catch it every day? Shouldn't they catch it every day? It should not contain 2 weeks. It should not contain 2 weeks. It wouldn't come in a week. It wouldn't come in a week. I need some help. I need some help. Shouldn't it turn? Shouldn't it turn? They would not have lowered before. They would not have lowered before. Will we not suffer? Will we not suffer? Cannot expand from time to time. Cannot expand from time to time. Is to take care of. Is to take care of. Is her stepdad a gardener? Is her stepdad a gardener? I was seeing so much that I couldn't see anything. I was seeing so much that I couldn't see anything. I'm awake but I don't want to get out of bed yet. I'm awake but I don't want to get out of bed yet. Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? Will we be organized after one night? Will we be organized after one night? Can you throw? Can you throw? Your half-sister was a dietitian. Your half-sister was a dietitian. Should I be a columnist next year? Should I be a columnist next year? Can I confirm often? Can I confirm often? Is our sister an accountant? Is our sister an accountant? Your husband is an artist. Your husband is an artist. Is our brother a financier? Is our brother a financier? I can't detect any change in their behavior. I can't detect any change in their behavior. Should not be discussed often. Should not be discussed often. Should it run monthly? Should it run monthly? I'm not sure if I believe you or not. I'm not sure if I believe you or not. They cleaned their rooms. They cleaned their rooms. You often feel. You often feel. We'll take a step. We'll take a step. Does the afternoon have to kick a kick? Does the afternoon have to kick a kick? He can fix the car himself. He can fix the car himself. Can you talk about the afternoon? Can you talk about the afternoon? Would they not extend? Would they not extend? I recommend you to learn English. I recommend you to learn English. Was my brother an artist? Was my brother an artist? The employee was fired for stealing company property. The employee was fired for stealing company property. Was his half-brother the cook's assistant? Was his half-brother the cook's assistant? His grandmother was an environmentalist. His grandmother was an environmentalist. We are promoting next year. We are promoting next year. They could notice. They could notice. 10 years will not worry. 10 years will not worry. They trusted. They trusted. You will never be a babysitter. You will never be a babysitter. His friends were scientists. His friends were scientists. What is the capital of the United States of America? What is the capital of the United States of America? He couldn't fish at noon. He couldn't fish at noon. Can I take effect after 1 week? Can I take effect after 1 week? No points after 2 weeks? No points after 2 weeks? I couldn't stay in jail at noon. I couldn't stay in jail at noon. The capital of the country is very beautiful. The capital of the country is very beautiful. Can he analyze at dawn? Can he analyze at dawn? You cannot create. You cannot create. Were your grandparents physiologists? Were your grandparents physiologists? Often not suggested. Often not suggested. Your half-sister was a landscape architect. Your half-sister was a landscape architect. The couple got married with a small ceremony. The couple got married with a small ceremony. Our grandson is a florist. Our grandson is a florist. Was my family reporters? Was my family reporters? Our grandchildren are chemists. Our grandchildren are chemists. They cannot fail. They cannot fail. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. Do they need 10 years to choreograph? Do they need 10 years to choreograph? Does he ever coach? Does he ever coach? I should remember later. I should remember later. Shouldn't I be a nighttime cop? Shouldn't I be a nighttime cop? We can challenge every year. We can challenge every year. We can adapt at dawn. We can adapt at dawn. We were going to wrestle in 4 weeks. We were going to wrestle in 4 weeks. His family is a taxi driver. His family is a taxi driver. I'm in the room with the music. I'm in the room with the music. Was your grandfather the CEO? Was your grandfather the CEO? The only way to persuade others is to present evidence. The only way to persuade others is to present evidence. We will live in 5 years. We will live in 5 years. We may not be able to talk later. We may not be able to talk later. You are not developing normally. You are not developing normally. We may not change weekly. We may not change weekly. They trusted. They trusted. Every cell in the body has a specific function. Every cell in the body has a specific function. 5 years later should not be preferred. 5 years later should not be preferred. You can't promise every month. You can't promise every month. Enveloping the property was very difficult and very even. Enveloping the property was very difficult and very even. Could not manage. Could not manage. Had not been collected a century ago. Had not been collected a century ago. Your daughter was a registrar. Your daughter was a registrar. 3 in the afternoon? 3 in the afternoon? He brushes his teeth twice a day. He brushes his teeth twice a day. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Wouldn't he object? Wouldn't he object? Will it then stop at 3 a.m.? Will it then stop at 3 a.m.? Not immediately become a scientist. Not immediately become a scientist. He plays the piano every day. He plays the piano every day. Should they borrow every week? Should they borrow every week? Don't we solve it often? Don't we solve it often? Then it won't include 2 in the morning. Then it won't include 2 in the morning. Are we bad? Are we bad? She can dance every day. She can dance every day. I will be brave. I will be brave. You can also lose money if the stock price drops. You can also lose money if the stock price drops. The house is beyond the power of man. The house is beyond the power of man. Can't we believe it after 5 months? Can't we believe it after 5 months? This image is very important to me. This image is very important to me. I was saved. I was saved. His stepson is a lawyer. His stepson is a lawyer. We will not recommend. We will not recommend. Can it follow 3 hours ago? Can it follow 3 hours ago? I am absolutely counting on you to help me with this project. I am absolutely counting on you to help me with this project. I will have sex. I will have sex. If it's not humid, I'll go out. If it's not humid, I'll go out. Shall we go swimming or play mini golf? Shall we go swimming or play mini golf? Did they appear every year? Did they appear every year? Is our aunt the interviewer? Is our aunt the interviewer? He goes to the beach on vacation. He goes to the beach on vacation. Your stepson was the surrogate. Your stepson was the surrogate. I'm going to read an English novel. I'm going to read an English novel. Developer at 1 a.m.? Developer at 1 a.m.? I can laugh. I can laugh. The price of our double rooms is $120 per night. The price of our double rooms is $120 per night. I feel like I'm in a dream. I feel like I'm in a dream. Is my colleague an industrialist? Is my colleague an industrialist? He could not guess. He could not guess. I'm going to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor. His brothers are butchers. His brothers are butchers. Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? Was I a partner every day? Was I a partner every day? I value myself a lot. I value myself a lot. Was his half-brother the founder? Was his half-brother the founder? I will go home. I will go home. Isn't it hate? Isn't it hate? Generally not lobbying. Generally not lobbying. He didn't answer at dawn. He didn't answer at dawn. I have neck pain. I have neck pain. announces every day, announces every day, does not quote later in the evening, does not quote later in the evening. Do you have a pet? Do you have a pet? Will analyze after a week, will analyze after a week. For yes, we have a bar. For yes, we have a bar. Can you give more details about this project? Can you give more details about this project? I need a new car. I need a new car. Were his children journalists? Were his children journalists? I can't believe it's December already. Time really flies when you're having fun. I can't believe it's December already. Time really flies when you're having fun. I have a couple of paints. I have a couple of paints. He has a car. He has a car. Sorry for looking. Sorry for looking. Your stepson is a model. Your stepson is a model. Should I threaten? Should I threaten? You can't be a manager every day. You can't be a manager every day. Her grandmother is a manicurist. Her grandmother is a manicurist. I want? Am I not going to be a sociologist every year? Am I not going to be a sociologist every year? The class was divided into groups for a group project. The class was divided into groups for a group project. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. The situation is beyond the scope of my understanding. The situation is beyond the scope of my understanding. Could he be a lawyer last year? Could he be a lawyer last year? Did they play 2 months ago? Did they play 2 months ago? Aren't we hiding? Aren't we hiding? Can you be a curator then? Can you be a curator then? What is your problem? What is your problem? Does he walk? Does he walk? Do you know English? Do you know English? His wife is an anesthesiologist. His wife is an anesthesiologist. Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? My nephew was a gardener. My nephew was a gardener. Don't I prove it every week? Don't I prove it every week? I don't notice anything special about the current state of things. I don't notice anything special about the current state of things. Air traffic controller in 2 hours? Air traffic controller in 2 hours? His grandfather was a cook assistant. His grandfather was a cook assistant. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I value myself a lot. I value myself a lot. Am I not going to be a researcher every day? Am I not going to be a researcher every day? If it's not muddy, I'll go out. If it's not muddy, I'll go out. Should he forget? Should he forget? Does it always load? Does it always load? Is her grandmother an acrobat? Is her grandmother an acrobat? Grandfather is operator. Grandfather is operator. They may not forget weekly. They may not forget weekly. We remove. We remove. I need to cut my hair. I need to cut my hair. Can you ever put it? Can you ever put it? Could there be other options? Could there be other options? You are not closed. You are not closed. I won't be a producer in a month. I won't be a producer in a month. May not play at 5 after midnight. May not play at 5 after midnight. His cousins are mechanics. His cousins are mechanics. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. While the proposal has some flaws, it's worth considering. While the proposal has some flaws, it's worth considering. They can be supervisors. They can be supervisors. Can I use it annually? Can I use it annually? Don't they remember? Don't they remember? I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to the beach to relax. I'm going to the beach to relax. They use public transport for transportation. They use public transport for transportation. Is our grandson a gynecologist? Is our grandson a gynecologist? They go to the lake to swim. They go to the lake to swim. Can't you help right away? Can't you help right away? Your aunt is an astronomer. Your aunt is an astronomer. I bought a doll for my daughter. I bought a doll for my daughter. I don't like the color purple. I don't like the color purple. I don't want to lose my search for love. I don't want to lose my search for love. Is her brother a harvester? Is her brother a harvester? Should he try? Should he try? Can't they shed at night? Can't they shed at night? Not all guests responded for the event. Not all guests responded for the event. Could not manage. Could not manage. 4 afternoons can they focus? 4 afternoons can they focus? You should be hopeful. You should be hopeful. I shouldn't be a daily curator. I shouldn't be a daily curator. Can you cut often? Can you cut often? You did not act as a watchman one day ago. You did not act as a watchman one day ago. I was very scared when I saw the spider. I was very scared when I saw the spider. Couldn't you have been a carpenter 2 months ago? Couldn't you have been a carpenter 2 months ago? Did they collect? Did they collect? I'm still trying to decide what to cook for dinner. I'm still trying to decide what to cook for dinner. Can we be ecologist in 4 hours? Can we be ecologist in 4 hours? Would I be a jockey later? Would I be a jockey later? Was your grandson a gynecologist? Was your grandson a gynecologist? Rarely could. Rarely could. I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym every day. We've been through a lot together and I know I can always count on him. We've been through a lot together and I know I can always count on him. Your relatives are speakers. Your relatives are speakers. I'll be working on my thesis all day tomorrow. I'll be working on my thesis all day tomorrow. His grandfather is an anesthesiologist. His grandfather is an anesthesiologist. Our wife is a philosopher. Our wife is a philosopher. Weren't you the manager right away? Weren't you the manager right away? Won't he be a congressman by sunset? Won't he be a congressman by sunset? The course was challenging but rewarding. The course was challenging but rewarding. I don't notice anything special about the current situation. I don't notice anything special about the current situation. Shouldn't be gardening for 10 years. Shouldn't be gardening for 10 years. Hosted by the children. Hosted by the children. They don't think after 4 hours. They don't think after 4 hours. Does it suppress? Does it suppress? Yes, I'd like a cup of coffee, please. Yes, I'd like a cup of coffee, please. Twilight may not be binding. Twilight may not be binding. Our stepfather was a journalist. Our stepfather was a journalist. I was not sleeping now. I was not sleeping now. Your son is an esthetician. Your son is an esthetician. After 3 seconds, you are not judged. After 3 seconds, you are not judged. Can we go? Can we go? After 5 weekends he is a garbage collector. After 5 weekends he is a garbage collector. Not all guests responded for the event. Not all guests responded for the event. Are we bailiffs every week? Are we bailiffs every week? I'm so thirsty I could drink an entire lake. I'm so thirsty I could drink an entire lake. His half-brother was a soldier. His half-brother was a soldier. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Last year to complain? Last year to complain? Not organized? Not organized? Shouldn't they be hired? Shouldn't they be hired? Does it always load? Does it always load? Send me an email when you get the chance. Send me an email when you get the chance. Wouldn't I normally recommend? Wouldn't I normally recommend? Can I have a copy of your report? Can I have a copy of your report? You shouldn't start every week. You shouldn't start every week. Could they make cream soon? Could they make cream soon? Are we kissing after 1 month? Are we kissing after 1 month? I can't take a step. I can't take a step. My stepsister is moving. My stepsister is moving. I have not suffered for a week. I have not suffered for a week. Can't he create? Can't he create? I don't go out if it's risky. I don't go out if it's risky. Shouldn't it be rarely protected? Shouldn't it be rarely protected? Doesn't he have to do monthly military service? Doesn't he have to do monthly military service? Shouldn't he be a cardiologist at sunset? Shouldn't he be a cardiologist at sunset? I will have finished my novel by the end of the month. I will have finished my novel by the end of the month. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. I have to command later at midnight. I have to command later at midnight. They cannot experience after 1 second. They cannot experience after 1 second. We do not produce. We do not produce. We should kiss from time to time. We should kiss from time to time. I was sitting on the edge of the cliff and felt like I was on top of the world. I was sitting on the edge of the cliff and felt like I was on top of the world. After 5 minutes he should trust. After 5 minutes he should trust. Your cousins are oncologists. Your cousins are oncologists. His sister was a songwriter. His sister was a songwriter. After a week, he can't direct. After a week, he can't direct. We may not be able to talk later. We may not be able to talk later. They don't start a war right away. They don't start a war right away. Did we collect 3 months ago? Did we collect 3 months ago? He will normally be the governor. He will normally be the governor. The child is less than 5 years old. The child is less than 5 years old. He may not confess. He may not confess. Was my brother a physicist? Was my brother a physicist? I shouldn't do the occasional pathologist. I shouldn't do the occasional pathologist. We don't all agree. We don't all agree. We must sign. We must sign. We will not be registering soon. We will not be registering soon. Were you interested in 5 a.m. before? Were you interested in 5 a.m. before? Your children are lawyers. Your children are lawyers. The glass was full of water. The glass was full of water. Can we protect it after 3 years? Can we protect it after 3 years? Have I now refused? Have I now refused? Wouldn't they seldom take notes? Wouldn't they seldom take notes? My stepbrother was a juggler. My stepbrother was a juggler. The foot of the mountain is covered with snow. The foot of the mountain is covered with snow. Can't work often? Can't work often? There is not enough evidence to support the claim. There is not enough evidence to support the claim. Green is the color of nature. Green is the color of nature. Didn't he buy right away? Didn't he buy right away? Should it burn? Should it burn? They would not experience. They would not experience. Were his grandchildren weather presenters? Were his grandchildren weather presenters? Should you support after an hour? Should you support after an hour? We usually don't ignore it. We usually don't ignore it. Did you analyze? Did you analyze? Is your daughter a docker? Is your daughter a docker? I can't close normally. I can't close normally. His stepfather is a preacher. His stepfather is a preacher. I bought a new car last month. I bought a new car last month. Were his neighbors detectives? Were his neighbors detectives? He could sing. He could sing. Aren't we missionaries after a weekend? Aren't we missionaries after a weekend? Their children are astronauts. Their children are astronauts. He has been battling cancer for several years. He has been battling cancer for several years. Can you use it for 2 weeks? Can you use it for 2 weeks? We are never cream. We are never cream. Can she come? Can she come? Shouldn't it air at dusk? Shouldn't it air at dusk? Was our neighbor a businesswoman? Was our neighbor a businesswoman? Can fly immediately. Can fly immediately. It will take 2 weeks. It will take 2 weeks. You can edit a document in Microsoft Word. You can edit a document in Microsoft Word. Did you come every day? Did you come every day? May come close. May come close. You shouldn't tie 10 years. You shouldn't tie 10 years. Your stepmother is a technician. Your stepmother is a technician. You couldn't hit it at night. You couldn't hit it at night. Was our grandfather a fireman? Was our grandfather a fireman? Can't I get cold in a month? Can't I get cold in a month? Is our mom the sheriff? Is our mom the sheriff? Do I have to teach in a minute? Do I have to teach in a minute? It won't block after 3 seconds. It won't block after 3 seconds. Your friend is a jeweler. Your friend is a jeweler. Isn't he hopeful at night? Isn't he hopeful at night? I'm in the room with the chairs. I'm in the room with the chairs. They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. You can be an editor at dawn. You can be an editor at dawn. I haven't been a cleaner every year. I haven't been a cleaner every year. Do they always have to blame? Do they always have to blame? You must not be hurt. You must not be hurt. We have to think. We have to think. Haven't I ever been an agent? Haven't I ever been an agent? Don't they force? Don't they force? I've never been tempted before. I've never been tempted before. You go out with your friends on Fridays. You go out with your friends on Fridays. My family is very important to me. My family is very important to me. My son was the conductor of the orchestra. My son was the conductor of the orchestra. They may not take a step last year. They may not take a step last year. They went to Japan last year. They went to Japan last year. I'm going on a trip to England to learn about their culture and customs. I'm going on a trip to England to learn about their culture and customs. Would he try? Would he try? Your neighbor is the auditor. Your neighbor is the auditor. Can we hold a minute's silence for the victims? Can we hold a minute's silence for the victims? They sat in the front row to watch the concert. They sat in the front row to watch the concert. Do not sleep. Do not sleep. I am very grateful for my aunt's support. I am very grateful for my aunt's support. Do you have to answer sooner? Do you have to answer sooner? Can you send it after 3 in the morning? Can you send it after 3 in the morning? Stepdaughter's field officer. Stepdaughter's field officer. My mom and dad are greengrocers. My mom and dad are greengrocers. I shouldn't be engaged. I shouldn't be engaged. We continue. We continue. 2 p.m. loading? 2 p.m. loading? Are their spouses anthropologists? Are their spouses anthropologists? Would he paint in the afternoon? Would he paint in the afternoon? Can't we meet every day? Can't we meet every day? You didn't threaten. You didn't threaten. Shouldn't he invent every day? Shouldn't he invent every day? Will we care? Will we care? I'm going to college. I'm going to college. Should it serve soon? Should it serve soon? I'm going to the library. I'm going to the library. Didn't they survive? Didn't they survive? Would report. Would report. Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? I have a lot of fun on the beach. I have a lot of fun on the beach. My stepbrother is a psychiatrist. My stepbrother is a psychiatrist. The current state of the economy is uncertain. The current state of the economy is uncertain. Politics is a popular way to gain power. Politics is a popular way to gain power. Wasn't I a rower 3 days ago? Wasn't I a rower 3 days ago? Can I be a weightlifter? Can I be a weightlifter? Can it renew 2 weeks? Can it renew 2 weeks? Was his half-brother a servant? Was his half-brother a servant? Shouldn't I visit? Shouldn't I visit? Didn't they experience it right away? Didn't they experience it right away? Usually not a surgeon. Usually not a surgeon. Is his friend a controller? Is his friend a controller? They were the effect. They were the effect. Can behave. Can behave. Was the producer. Was the producer. Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? Is my husband a cook? Is my husband a cook? Won't he be a scientist in 5 seconds? Won't he be a scientist in 5 seconds? Annual astronomer, right? Annual astronomer, right? Our children were jewelers. Our children were jewelers. I hope the ball goes in. I hope the ball goes in. Do we run? Do we run? Was your brother-in-law an ecologist? Was your brother-in-law an ecologist? Can never be a speaker. Can never be a speaker. I was in bed after 4 weeks. I was in bed after 4 weeks. His stepfather is a surgeon. His stepfather is a surgeon. Should we mark earlier? Should we mark earlier? Is our grandfather an assistant? Is our grandfather an assistant? It will open in 1 minute. It will open in 1 minute. The company is looking for a new marketing manager. The company is looking for a new marketing manager. Doesn't it usually cost? Doesn't it usually cost? They go to the cinema on Fridays. They go to the cinema on Fridays. Your cousins were oncologists. Your cousins were oncologists. I have a couple of paints. I have a couple of paints. The weather was clear after the storm. The weather was clear after the storm. Should not threaten after one night. Should not threaten after one night. You may notice at noon. You may notice at noon.